Wow. Windows not only resets your like your audio randomly, like your default devices, I feel like it also with your resolution all the time too. There's got to be like I feel like somebody put in a service, some engineer put in a service that just every time Windows starts, it like randomly generates like default devices, like just to f with you. Like there's no reason for it to exist. They just do it to f with you because they know it'd be like hilarious if every time you turn on your computer, like why is this at 30 hertz? Like why? It shouldn't be. It should be at 60. But 50% of the time this computer gets restarted, it'll just change to 30. But why? There's no reason. None of these are changing. There's a conflict between the Windows audio endpoint generator. It sounds made up, but it isn't. That I'm convinced settings on Cool Guy high-end setups. It's not even on Cool Guy high-end setups. Like if I, like for instance, every monitor these days, for whatever reason, I don't know why. Well, no, I know why. Every monitor has built-in speakers. So every time you connect a monitor to your computer is like, oh, like, look, we can play sound here. But it's like, no, I don't ever want to play. I didn't buy a $500 monitor or whatever to play sound out of the tinny, horrible built-in monitor speakers. And Windows is like, okay, I get that. But next time you start your computer, we're going to just do that anyway. Kick is going down over and over again. Hold on. Oh, I know why. We have to do this, and then we got to do 1920 by 1080. Oh yeah, sometimes when you plug in PlayStation controllers, I remember that way back in the day. Let's play audio through your PlayStation controller. Why not? It reminds me of only the oldest and wisest of the computer council will remember this. But it reminds me of way back in the day. For some reason, it was just standard practice that if you bought a case, it would always come with the shittiest power supply ever. And there was never a single person ever building their own computer who you'd buy a case, $150, half X, whatever. You'd buy a $150 case, and it would come with the weirdest $20 cheapo power supply ever. It's like, why? Who's buying a case and then using the included power supply ever? How close to blowing your brains out when the Jubilee thing ended with, isn't it nice to have a civil conversation? Oh yeah, Jesus, those people were relentless. Oh, you guys got to see the memes. I have never been so owned in my life than when the one guy sat down and he was like, oh, so you think the fake electors were illegal? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, really? What's the law? And I'm like, I mean, the law that governs, how you do your certificate. No. What's the law? What do you mean? Like the number of the law, like the penal code? Yes. I don't know it offhand. QED. Okay. Fuck me, I guess. Camera, are you okay? I have the iris on autofocus, but it's not, I feel like it should be closing a ton. Oh, there it goes. What an adventure. The Alex convo was taken really well by his audience. It's hard to tell now in some videos because my audience is big enough that it gets posted in my subreddit that I can't tell if it's just you guys brigading comments. Not that that's bad. It's not bad to brigade. They're YouTube videos that you're supposed to do, but it's just hard to tell sometimes what the organic feedback from the audience is. Yeah, now I just need the Reddit posts of extremely disappointed in Steven for spending so much time on dailies instead of memorizing the penal code of every single criminal offense he talks about. How is he ever going to be taken seriously as a debater when he's not willing to put in the minimum amount of debate prep? If I wanted to have you guys on a little monitor when I walk around, how would I do this? Well, I guess I could just work here. I think it helped that Alex is a lot more critical with you, at least for optics' sake. That can have a big impact. I mean, I guess, but it's like, I didn't have time to watch the full Ben Shapiro Jubilee thing, but just curious. How many personal attacks were there in Ben Shapiro's Jubilee? Were there people going at him constantly like in mine? Because holy fuck. The trans man did? Oh, true. Actually, some of those people might have. put the 4090 and the new power supply in my big boy studio PC. I'm transplanting this, my another old build into this so that our election stream night guy has a computer to work out of. And then I got furniture to build. Oh my God. That feel when they start reading off a list of dead people. Oh yeah, I probably look like an asshole there, but like, bro, give me a break. We're really doing this right now? You're really gonna sit here and start reading a list of dead people? Come on. Do you know any of these people? Get the fuck out of here. Whose funeral did you go to? Come on. Forget about it. My favorite thing was when, did they show, I heard they cut one prompt from the Jubilee thing. Like that's standard, they always cut one prompt, they'll cut the weakest. Did they have it in my show where there were people that they would sit down and then they would preach at me and they wouldn't even get voted off, they would just like stand up and walk away after. I'm like, what? That's a strategy I hadn't even considered. The guy who chose to debate at the end did that once, I think. Did he actually? I talked to that guy a bit at the end. Apparently he lives near me. I couldn't. I don't know, man. When you called them retards, I got super offended. Even the girls said you want to get pegged. Yeah, fuck. I was trying to balance my aura because I'd been like super aggressive. Is this your first 40 series GPU? Make sure to have a proper 16-pin cable. Yeah, that's the PSU. I got a new PSU, of course. So I'm trying to like balance my, like I'm trying not to come in with like the fucking Super Saiyan shit down your throat, be ultra aggressive fucking aura. I'm trying to be like a little bit more chill. But I'm gonna be honest, I almost lost it a few times. There were a couple times, that blonde chick, and then with the crazy yoni ball woman, where I almost was like, okay, you know what? You know what? It's time for some tactical something. Destiny, your blue light flickers a little. Shut the fuck up. You're talking about the hue light in the back, right? I know it does. I'm just gonna hope that most people don't notice it. The reality is for the 12 people out there that like to stream with LEDs, I don't know why, but the, well, I know why, I just don't know what the reason is. The hue lights, the refresh rate on the bulb doesn't play nicely with 30 or 60 frame rates on cameras. I don't know if it would be considered a rolling shutter that causes that effect, but it happens with hue bulbs. I'm not sure why. Or I mean, I said why. I don't know. I just don't know why they have that refresh rate compared to other lights. Like it doesn't happen with any other. I think Philips uses some retarded non-standard PWM frequency. Okay. What did Andrew mean by cheating or collusion? I think people just talked in the beginning about like who wanted to go when or shit like that, basically. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how big of a difference it made, but hold on one second. It's more efficient to pulse LED instead of having it constantly on. Yeah. But for some reason, these pulse in a way that doesn't play well with standard camera or standard internet camera refresh rates. I don't know why. Why do you keep spamming this question? Why was the sex therapist there? She was like, I don't know. I don't know why they invited every single individual they did. Email the directors. It's probably hard to find any conservative that isn't the most fucking insane person ever. So these were the least insane people they could find. And that's saying something. There's like a 20% chance that I mixed up the cables for this power supply and another one. So I hope that when I turn this on, it fucking melts my shit. That's what I'm praying for. Do you think there's validity to the story of Trump and Mike Johnson, how they're going to attempt to steal the election? Bro, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully the election is a fucking landslide, but who knows what's going to happen at this point? Who the fuck knows? What if Trump does try to lead some like actual revolution because he realizes that if he loses the election, there's a decent chance that he'll see the inside of a prison cell? Maybe for the rest of his life? You're trying to bet and win some free money on Kamala at these insane odds? Oh, I don't even know how to sign up to that Polymarket site. I should though, because I already got a 10K bet with Wes. So it's like, it's a free arbitrage basically, right? I should bet on, no, wait, that doesn't make sense. I would have to bet on, I would have had to bet West for Trump and then bet Kamala on Polymarket, I think, right? Free arbitrage, assuming the site pays out. Yeah, that's true, actually. What do you think about Israel and Lebanon? Do you think their objectives are sound? Bro, I don't know, man. Don't ask me about anything. I don't know anything about fucking Israel, apparently. I thought they would have gotten, I thought that Hezbollah would have presented, I said it a million times after 2006, I thought they would have presented a significant obstacle to Israel's military, and Israel completely surgically fucking annihilated, like, I shouldn't say annihilated, but did significant damage to Hezbollah. And then they killed like all the top leadership in Hamas, and they just captured another 600 fucking Hamas militants in, was it northern Gaza? So, you know, who knows? Who the fuck knows? God's chosen people, true. Best is a Florida Republican. I voted for DeSantis yesterday over Trump. Kamala never won me over, but Trump is an egomaniac. I can't wait until we get back to boring policy debates, not cringe crap. Yeah. Definitely not a fan of DeSantis, but I would take DeSantis over Trump a million times over, easily. I think this morning was the closest I've ever been to tweeting out a death threat before. Did you see this? Ah, fuck me. I'm too lazy to. I have to change all my scenes and everything. Did you see the MAGA Republican congressman who did a fucking ad shooting at a ballot box? What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, you're here. What the fuck? Try again, wrong spot. Which camera am I on right now? Oh, is the auto switcher on? Do 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 do. Oh, geez. Oh, it might be actually. Hold on. Oh, it is. Andrew Wilson wanted to chat. I wonder if I can use Discord on the studio PC. Voice and video. Input, analog 5 and 6. Something that's mind-fucking me a little bit is after I swapped out the Intel 380, the A380 for the 4090, I had weird issues on that Intel graphics card where my monitors would like flicker on and off like randomly, and it would take like 10 minutes for them to like work properly. And I'm like, they're just monitors. There's no way that the GPU could like just not, it's not like I'm trying to run games or whatever. It's really fucking annoying. I haven't had any of those issues with this GPU. I don't know what that, yeah, I don't know what that means, or it's fucking annoying. Okay, this is analog 5 and 6. The output devices are default. You guys hear music when I play it on this computer, right? Hold on. Intel drivers for multi-monitor are still not fully stable. I even get issues on my laptop's IGB. Is that true? To support multiple monitors? Okay, well, that's weird. What's that dark spot on the tray on the left? Is it dirty or damaged? It's probably just the, is it felt or whatever? Being pressed in a different direction. Like that? The music is too loud. Wait, there's no shot that's true, right? Don't listen to that retard. Oh, okay. Hello, hello. Testing, 1, 2. Okay. Okay. Am I gonna watch the Jubilee thing? Probably not. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know. My Alex O'Connor thing came out too. It's more party music and less background music. Can somebody tell me why ordinary sit-down restaurants will play music so fucking loud? If I have to scream at the person sitting across from the table, your shit is fucked. It actually drives me insane. I don't mind music at restaurants, and I don't mind loud music if it's supposed to be like a dance environment, right? But sometimes just like at ordinary ass sit down fucking restaurants, they be blaring music for no reason. There's no reason why a 256 gigabytes 840 Pro should be totally fine for just this computer in the studio, right? For the guy to stream from? Like I wouldn't need like more space for anything, right? I can't think of any reason, right? No, I don't think so. At Destiny, after all the talk how you got outplayed on Jubilee, it doesn't seem like you did bad at all. Yeah, no, I don't think it was bad. It just wasn't. I think my standards for those performances are higher than. It would just be nice to talk substance with literally any fucking person ever. Ever, okay? It'd be nice. One time in the history of all of Trump kind. Did your recent OBS plugin script work well? You definitely did it correctly using the built-in API versus external Bash or Python. 100%. Your knowledge and understanding was spot on as well. You would make a solid programmer. Yeah, I know. I consider myself somewhat of a hypothetical programming expert, just like I'm a hypothetical expert at everything. What a hypothetical expert is a person who would be an expert if they put the time into it, but they simply choose not to because they have better things to do with their time. So. I guess one thing that I actually don't talk about, no, I have talked about it before. I guess I have like very minor scripting experience because the two examples would be a long time ago. I mentioned how I used to play MUDs. So on MUDs were basically games that you would connect to via Telnet. And on Telnet was like it was just like a command prompt to log into remote devices, I guess. I don't actually know what Telnet was originally supposed to be for. But eventually you would upgrade from Telnet to, you would get like a real client, right? So you might use, back in the day, it was like a ZMUD or GMUD. And then when you were a big boy, you'd finally get into, generally I think the best was considered, it was a program called Mush Client. And I've talked about this before, but like one of the things because I would like go to college and shit, and so I would be kind of like, I wouldn't be able to compete with these fucking losers who could game 24/7 and they would like power level their characters and I'd be like fucked. So like the dream was you would want to create like in Mush Client they're called triggers. I don't know what you call it in programming, just something that responds to something else. I guess you receive an event and then you reply to it or whatever. But so you would create a trigger so that, let's say anytime you kill a mob, when you kill a mob, you attack another mob because it would respawn in the same room, right? So what you might do is you might match a string of text that says, fighter has fallen to the ground screaming or whatever, right? Because that means you killed the mob. And then the trigger text might be something like kill, like K space fighter. So that would be a shorthand for kill fighter. And then you would attack and you'd kill the respawning mob, right? So you'd create like a simple trigger like this to kill shit. So there was one minor problem and then eventually one major problem, unfortunately, that you would have to get around. So the simple triggers would suck because you'd be restricted in how long you could leave your computer. Because if you're running a simple script, a simple trigger like that, obviously the issue you're going to run into is, well, what if you sit there killing mobs and then you run out of HP and then you just die, right? You're not at your computer, your trigger is still firing, and then you just die because you're auto-killing mobs. And so obviously this is a problem, but every single time you enter a command, you have a prompt that comes back that gives you your HP and everything. So what you can do is you could make that trigger conditional on your health points, right? And so I remember the first one that I set up because I didn't understand, I don't even know what you called it. I think it used Lua scripting, actually, funnily enough, even though I don't even know what that is anymore. But you would, so initially, bro, I remember some of those, if I could go back and dig through some of my first, like, full-on, like, you called it botting when you could fully automate a character. because I didn't know how to do like less than like a certain value. So I would have like a script that would match. It would be a trigger that would say like if HP equals 30, if HP equals 29, if HP equals 28, if HP equals 27, matching all the way down to 1. And then if my HP hit any of these, then it would deactivate the 1 triggers, and then it would spam FL for flee in case you were in combat. Initially, it would just walk to the health clinic, but then I realized I came back one time and my character was dead, and I was like, oh shit, I was in combat when that trigger activated, so I would have to flee first. So you would spam flee 20 times so that you made sure that actually went through, and then you would go, it was just like a whole bunch of like autistic shit, like trying to script around like all these things. And then eventually I would learn like, oh, you can do like a range. Oh, there are like wild cards that you can match. And eventually there's just like this full-on system of like, if I've seen this particular thing in a room, then it means my character has walked into the health clinic, which means I know that I need to sleep, and then I need to pause for like 4 minutes because a tick was 60 seconds, and you would regenerate 25% of your HP in 60 seconds. And then after 4 minutes, you would wake up, it would be like D, E, 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 like you go down, and then East like 7 times, and you go to the next arena. And it was like all this shit, like scripting out like this fully botted character. So if you have enough triggers to like fully automate a character, you'd call it botting, okay? Well, the issue is that botting is, in all the mods that I played, was mega illegal. So then what you try to script around is if you were willing to lose a lot of characters, and then you would go to these websites. I don't even know why these existed, but I don't think VPNs, did they exist back then? You would use these things called like SOCKS 5 or SOCKS 4 proxies. So what you would do is you would find random proxies online, you'd plug them into Mush Client so that you could create a new character. So if they IP banned you, you could make a new one. And so what you had to start programming, and by the time I got to like trying to survive admin encounters, what you would try to do is you would try to program a script that would survive an encounter with an admin. So like an admin would teleport to you, and then they would ask you questions like hello to see if you're there. And so you would try to have scripts to respond to different admin prompts. And so initially, they were like my first few were obviously very crude, but like I understood pretty quickly that like they have to be relatively sophisticated. So you would program like you could have like a random like choose a value randomly between like 2 and 10, and like that's a value in seconds, and then that would respond to something the guy said, so that you're not responding instantaneously, so that it's not automatically assumed to be a bot. I would have to think like social engineering, like what are they going to ask? So what can I respond with, and how can I say a thing or whatever? At some points I would put I had like a random, like before I would go to school for the day, I would like insert, because I could set messages to go off in like 4 hours, so I would type in the OOC, the out of character channel, so that it would seem like I'm here and like chatting and shit. It was just like but like one of the proudest moments of my life was when I came back to when I came home one day and I saw that my character had survived like a whole 8-hour fucking bot session, and he was still fighting. He wasn't like stuck on a wall or like some dumb shit, and it was. And oh no, it was when it survived that, and it had survived an admin encounter. They called him IMS in mods. They called him Immortal. So I scrolled up and I saw an Immortal come down and chat with me, and my character had gone back like 2 or 3 lines of text, and then he just like teleported away. If he would have sat and had like a longer convo, then he would have caught him. Obviously, it wasn't a fucking LLM. Okay, it was like 2008, but. But the problem solving for that scripting it was very fun. It was interesting. Like sometimes I would be like, I go into the same room and I can't think of any way to get my character to acknowledge whether I've come or gone for some reason. So what I would do is like, for some problems, what I would do is I would drop an item in the room every time I entered, and I would pick the item up every time I left. So I could tell if I entered a room that I was there and I hadn't left it or whatever, because there'd be an item laying on the ground. There'd be like a ton of like little problem solving things like that. It was just like fun to figure out that autistic shit. I didn't realize people played MUDs in 2008. I was in full WoW addiction by then. Oh yeah. I never actually wanted to play MUDs. I really like Gundam Wing, and I think I Yahoo searched like Gundam Wing game, and then I found it was I don't remember who even made that MUD that I played, but I found a game, and I was on Telnet for so long playing this game, and then I just played it for a while, assuming that at some point I tried to download like Gmud and Zmud, but these were too. I was like, fuck, what was I like 14, 13? I just didn't understand how the program was working. I thought I just couldn't find like the graphics section. So I thought I was just playing like a gimped version of the game with no graphics and just like a command prompt. But at some point I was like, I'll figure out how to like get the graphics working. Oh, somebody just said that. This MUD thing sounds so much like Beyond. That's actually a thing I did try to learn, because that one game, Load Wars, I wanted to make my own version of it, because I was like, fuck, the programmer left, because he's a jerk. And I did try to learn, Beyond has its own scripting language, and I did try to learn that to make a game too. I think I spent like 2 months building, there was some rudimentary game where I had a guy that would like run around and like, it sounds stupid, but you'd just be so happy when like, oh my god, like wall collision works. He's not going through the fucking walls anymore. Or just like dumb shit like that. But where are these? Oh. Your one-on-one voice trans debates lately have gone well, don't cancel. Voice trans debates? What? That's the guy you banned. I did Python in uni for a module to create a game, forgotten it all. Nice. Oh, he's the meme from the clip that got, I understand. Something I feel that has been missing from your analysis recently is how we Dems should balance technocracy versus populism. We may have the right policies, but if we can't convince voters that our policies are the best, doesn't that leave a populist approach? Like, there's... Did the OBS plugin work? Right now, yes, the one that I have right now works very well. I'm very happy. The issue right now, it's easy, but it's not simple, or it's simple, but it's not easy. We just have to fix the media environment, and I think everything else will function well again. Because people aren't stupid, right? You've watched me do these debates on, I like how these screws don't go all the way in. You watch me do these debates now on Twitter Spaces. These people will come like memorizing a ton of random fucking facts and whatever data points. So it's not like they don't have the capacity for it. It's just that they've been fed so much horrible information. And if the media environment was just better, it would just be so, like, our citizens are decently smart. Like, having them like be screaming like real facts and real figures at each other that are actually happening would just be so much more productive. But our media environment is just fucked. It's fucked. If we win one election, we're free. I hope Trumpism doesn't remain. We have to fix the media shit. It is fucked right now. We have to change people's views, though, on freedom of speech. We have to view it like every other right that we have, and every other privilege that we have, in that it's a right to be like cherished and protected. And one of the most important ways that you protect and cherish a right is to wield it responsibly. That's true of every single thing you're granted in life. Every new privilege, every new thing comes with its own set of responsibilities. It's just always true. It's like, it reminds me of like what Uncle Ben said to Spider-Man when they were in New York, when he was saying like, only save white people because 13% of the, no, I'm just kidding. Is there a topic you and Alex O'Connor disagree on that you didn't get to talk about in the video? I'm sure there are tons, but the correct information is usually available, though. The problem is to just ignore all that information that doesn't conform to their narrative. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, people are only gonna, like, people consume information based on the media environments that they're in, right? I feel like we should just go back to the electors who think they should be president. The problem is very, very, very few people are immune to that type of media environment bias. And electors would be there's no reason to assume they would be insulated from it any more than, I mean, look at all these tech bros, right? That seem to be decently smart. I am glad. I feel like people think I ask these questions and I'm just looking to like soy out and shit on people. But I really was looking for something to show me that, like, does Elon Musk actually know anything about anything, or is this just another fucking retard that got lucky? But after watching that, one of those rocket videos yesterday, I was like, okay, never mind. Elon actually seems like he knows a lot about rockets. I feel good about that. That's good. Okay, I'm glad. But then it also furthers the point of like he seems like he's decently smart here. He has a good understanding here. Like, how did he get so hoodwinked into the MAGA shit? Unfortunately, with Elon, it might be a bit more insidious because he might just be looking to expand his power. Also, the irony of how are we going to fix government inefficiency by creating a whole new office, a whole new department with a whole new staff. It's going to need its own budget and everything else. The irony is not lost on me, but. What about instead of a direct vote for the president, or that only states can, so more indirect? You can't, I don't think you can, we have to fix the problem. We can't just try to mask it with a different system. I'm an airline pilot instructor, and I 100% believe Elon Musk was just saying very common basic pilots, so it's not smart. I don't think, not to knock your profession or anything, but I don't think that pilots learn anything about like the efficiency and cost of composite materials for surviving atmospheric reentry. Listen, I've never been through pilot school, but I would be surprised if you guys learned how long would it take for a 747 to burn up in the atmosphere if you were trying to cruise at 90,000 feet. Are you excited for anti-vaxxer RFK Jr. running the health department under Trump? Yeah, I don't know, man. Is it not equally possible that he just memorized that stuff? He wasn't talking to rocket experts. The whole facade broke for you when he talked about coding with a coder. Yeah, but that's just an example. I don't know why people can't do this. That was an example of him stepping. I don't think he knows anything about programming or AI. Maybe somebody can show me another video to convince me of that, actually, maybe I'm wrong there. But what I've heard him talk about, like, when he's talked about, like, Twitter, or when he's talked about AI, he sounds like a crypto bro layman who's just like, oh, here's some, like, cool buzzwords I learned. But the rocket stuff that he was talking about, that didn't sound like a memorized or rehearsed thing. It sounded like he had a genuine understanding because he was going from concept to example to concept to example, like, and he was fluidly understanding and he was responsive to the questions, like, that seemed like the guy prompted him with like, why don't you get into the nitty gritty as much as you can? And then he did. That's very rare that somebody has any idea what the fuck they're talking about. Well, I shouldn't say that actually, because he was a business guy, not just like a random politician dude. So he should have known what he was talking about. He's literally the founder of SpaceX. He should know what he's talking about, but yeah, I think he did. I don't think people bring up the PayPal shit. I don't think Musk had anything to do with PayPal. I'm pretty sure that's some stolen valor. I'd have to go look. I'm just ripping this from the Wikipedia article, but it sounded like Musk was an early investor in the company PayPal, but it was back when PayPal was only going to be used for, was it just transactions or it was just something else? It wasn't even like the iteration of PayPal that it was today, and he sold his shares in PayPal before it became what it was today. So the idea that like Musk built PayPal as his first company is just not true. He was just like an early investor, and then he sold out before it in like, what was it, like 2001? I think it was a long time ago. That might have been. Why do I keep leaving these here? Do you think it can be brain rot of ignorance instead of maliciousness? Well, I mean, like, Musk was making calls about Trump 4 years ago that seemed like... He wrote the whole code for Zip2 and a lot of PayPal originally. I would be shocked if that was the case, but I mean, I'm open to being wrong if that is the case. I'm going to say, listening to him talk to that one dev about PayPal was really painful. It was really retarded. That was some primo kino retarded shit. That was like why do you get so mad when management tries to direct your projects or whatever? And it's like, because of stuff like this. And then you would roll the clip of Elon talking about how PayPal needs a complete and total refactor without having any idea what the problems even are, or even being able to name any of the problems. Yeah, I don't know. That just sounded mega retarded. So if he has a background there, that would be pretty surprising. Not impossible, but... Twitter, sorry, not PayPal. Do I have everything in here? Power supply, RAM, CPU, GPU. I put in the capture card. Should be fine. I think Elon wants a Russian-style oligarchy where people like him have significant power over government. I don't think his MAGA support is ideological. Oh, I never thought of that. He wants to be like oligarchical. He would be an oligarchical person, right? I mean, like he would be, he'd be part of the oligarchy. Exactly. My understanding is he wrote some amount of code that was immediately thrown out and then pretty much never coded again. Based, okay. /highlight destiny. Oh, true. When it comes to like writing good code or being a good programmer, I think that's always. I think the assumption is that like a good programmer is somebody who's memorized like every language and they've memorized every function and they don't have to tab complete anything because they just know how to type everything in the fucking IDE or whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's just like the mind you have for conceptualizing like problem solving and like organizational like structure and all of that is so like the idea of like, oh, this guy's a good programmer. It's like, well, why is that? Like he never has to open the manual. Is like, no. Oh, one of the things that Elon said about engineering that I super agree with, it might be a common thing, maybe a lot of engineers or business people talk about it or whatever, but it's the idea of getting trapped in iterating on something that you should be eliminating, and that you should be, like, it's okay to eliminate things and then add them back as you need them, rather than being, but that's a good point. I've learned that over the past few years of things. Sometimes you're wasting time trying to endlessly iterate on a thing that you should just be getting rid of. Okay. Here, come with me on this camera. Well, let's lens swap. Is that a shoes or a smoke detector? Oh, these are my shoes. I need it on the court. Whenever I'm breaking knees, I want people to hear my shoes against the ground. Do you think the smart things Elon says he just stole from one of his smart employees? I think you can steal slogans, but it's hard to steal like concepts of things that like. I don't know how to explain this to you. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry. If somebody came in and somebody like, oh, you know what? You want a good example of like something you learned or memorized was when Marco Rubio was repeating that same line over and over again when Chris Christie was like, all he has is the memorized talking points. That's a good example of only having a thing that an employee told you. But let's say that an employee told Elon something. And then when Elon is answering questions, they were all things that he was briefed about before. If Elon is able to incorporate what his employee told him in a way into the answer of the question that shows he has at least like a rudimentary understanding of what he was told, that counts. That's good enough for me. That's totally fine. Like I don't think that is at the level of just mindless regurgitation. Like it shows like it's okay that like an employee briefs you on something before you go into a meeting, and then maybe even something you didn't fully understand before. But if you have the mind, because there's going to be like some base level of conceptualization to understand what's even being told to you at all. So I think that's totally okay. I wouldn't hold that against anybody. Oof, this is going to be really dark. In a video, a YouTuber asked an engineering question somebody said about the rocket that Elon hadn't considered before. Wait. And Elon hadn't considered before. He seemed in real time realized it's a good idea and immediately has changes made to the rocket. Just pretty you understand what's going on. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. How come you don't look at how other democracies avoid populism so I should stay healthy, like Taiwan versus Taiwan thing? I don't know. After World War I and World War II, we'll get into that, okay? It cannot possibly be the case that the only way to change profiles on mobile Stream Deck is to change profiles on your computer, right? That would just be absolutely fucking absurd, right? I think that is the only way to do it. I think the solution would just be to make different folders instead of different profiles so you can access it all in the same profile. How crazy. Andrew wants to chat at 3:30. Yeah, no problem. Is Dean coming to the election? I don't think so, no. I don't know, he wants to ask me about the fascism stuff. You know what? And I'm like, fuck it. I probably took my Vyvanse an hour before you asked. That's why I said yes. I'm in a good mood. You think after the congressional letter, other Twitch streamers will no longer collab with Hasanabi? People are very, very, very simple. If you're ever trying to figure out why people do what they do, the answer is usually just people follow incentives. People will continue to follow Hasan and do whatever Hasan wants as long as he has an audience and as long as he doesn't get banned. So the question is will Twitch ban him for anything? And if they won't, then nobody will stop supporting Hasanabi. Wait, did Adam actually back out of the election stream with Sitch? That congressman is from the poorest district in America. I'm sorry, but why is this his priority? I don't know, what the fuck else? It's probably one of the things that he can make like the biggest movements on, right? Like as an individual congressman, you can't really do much. Wait, if that's true, I don't know if Sitch is listening. You can DM me on Twitter or whatever. I would 100% invite you. That dude from Louder with Crowder won the lawsuit, the Not Jared guy. Oh shit. What was that lawsuit about again? Who did I predict would win? Did I make a prediction? What, can somebody explain to me why so many people break tempered glass? I feel like I see so many posts on like the PC building subreddit where there's like shattering their tempered glass covers, and I don't know why. I don't know what's happening there. Is that the couch you guys got? It sucks? That couch is awesome. What do you mean? I paid $5,000 for it. No, that's not the couch I got. That comes tomorrow. I'm probably throwing this one out. This thing is a piece of shit. And it's like falling apart. I have like I have my old reliable gray screwdriver somewhere and I've lost it. I don't know where it is. It bothers me greatly. God, this room is so fucking organized. Holy shit. Who organized this room? All the cases are right here, power stuff, cabling for audio, oh my God, this is amazing. Extra stands, all my ND filter, Jesus, good job. Whoever did this, A+, A+ to you, my friend. Oh, I'm throwing away all my vacuums. I also ordered a beast vacuum, I think. Does Vyvanse fuck with your recreational drug use scheduling, i.e. serotonin syndrome? Nobody that talks about serotonin syndrome is getting serotonin syndrome, okay? People use it as a shorthand of, I feel bad because I'm not high anymore and I didn't get good sleep. If you actually have serotonin syndrome, that's like it can be like a life-threatening condition. But that's a different thing. That doesn't just come from doing a little bit too much MDMA. Be careful with your drugs. I got a SIBO Automatic X4 upright vacuum cleaner. It's funny, I said this before, but I was worried I was talking shit because because it's been a long time since I've carpet cleaned. But I said a long time ago, I said that for carpet cleaning, there were like all of these vacuums that people get, all these crazy Dysons and shit, but none of them were ever as good as our really basic, just like dual motor uprights. Those were just the best vacuums, always. And so I was Googling around for like, what are the best vacuums? And this is what I came up with. People were like, this guy is, wait, where am I? is the shit. Dominant, supreme vacuum. Oh my God. But it's $800, so. I can't wait to vacuum the fuck. I'm gonna suck my dick with that vacuum. What about a shop vac? Shop vacs are good when you just need to fucking vacuum up like garage shit. I don't know if I would ever use a... Shop vacs don't usually come with the spinning bristles to like work through carpet or whatever. Or at least I haven't seen any shop vacs with that kind of shit. But, whew, a good shop vac is so nice when you're doing a lot of work. If you're like working on like drywall or whatever, I'm sure there's like a ton of other stuff you use it for, but having a good shop vac where you can just stick that sucker in the corner, boom, suck everything up, is so nice. What am I doing? Oh. I feel so lonely out here. I can't see you guys. I have no chat. I'm lost. I'm lost to the world. Why did you really use this photo of him? I don't know. I keep saying I should go get photos done. I could probably just take photos of myself though. I feel like I have a fucking studio, right? There's no reason to have dumb fucking photos. The ones that Tom got of me were really good, but I can just like take those. I can just recreate those. I don't know much about photography, but I feel like I have enough camera background that I should be able to figure it out. Get Google Glasses and have chat in your eyeball? True. We had a professional cleaner do our carpets and I was not impressed. They didn't vacuum before they started, stating it would be fine. It wasn't horrible. I was also not impressed. It wasn't the big clean I was expecting. Wait, are you fucking with me? Wait, are you like a 15-year-old viewer? That was a Google review? Oh, okay. By the end of my like carpet cleaning days on that job, I started to shortcut the fuck out of everything. It took me too long to figure out how people actually made money doing contract work when you work for small businesses, because I was naive and stupid, and I'd only worked for like McDonald's and the casino and the World Herald, like having my paper out and shit, so I didn't know how you made money as a contractor. And I just stopped giving a fuck at the end, so I would skip as many steps as possible. I would skip as many steps as possible, and hell yeah, why would I vacuum? I've got this whole ass water mount system for my truck. I'll just fucking water and vacuum it up with the hose on the machine. I'm not gonna vacuum this shit first. Dean said he's been talking to Hassan a lot. Oh, rip, that's probably why he's not coming on. That employee? Yeah, at the end of that job, I was a dog shit employee. Fuck that. I'm a ride or die. DGGA. There you go. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Do I read YouTube chat at all? It's over there, but it's not on my iPad right now. Is history bachelor/master/PhD on the table after the election? You create a thesis project for your trip and research about Israel. I slightly considered law school. I think litigating would actually be so much fun. And watching all the court shit and the trial shit, I honest to God, I feel like there is a huge overlap mentally between the skill set required to do litigation and the skill sets involved in software development. You've got a whole set of pre-existing rules that's basically like your programming language, and then you have like a problem that you're trying to solve for, right? So like you're building an application to do a particular thing, or in a legal case, you're trying to win you're trying to win like a particular case. You have to build like a legal theory for how you're going to win the case, which is kind of like macro, like what do we want this program to do? What's the scope of the project? And then I guess for coding, you put in the code, you run it, you see if it works. You could even probably find analogs to like as a lawyer, if you get the law wrong, like if you fuck something up, it's like a what is it, like a compiling error versus if you try to do something in court that is legally okay, but it like is wrong and it doesn't do what you want, it's like a runtime error. Like I feel like there's a lot of analogs to the type of problem solving. Just the whole idea of like, here's a set of facts, like build a case around this and then argue it in front of a judge or jury. I don't know, I like the concept of it. And I like the concept of like an actual graded debate that's not up for popular bullshit. It's not just like who has the most comments in the YouTube section or bullshit like that. Yeah, I don't know, I really like that. Same thing with being a doctor. Oh yeah, that sounds cool too. I have a friend who, she does internal medicine. And she was describing that. She said she liked internal medicine more than a lot of the other disciplines because I think she said most of the cases are, obviously they're very boring. People come in with a stomach pain and they have like a stomach ache, but like solving cases or figuring out stuff like that can be fun, but it's not as common. When are you getting your undergrad? Yeah, that's why I decided to fuck that, because I'm never going to school to get an undergrad. Fuck that. I ain't got time for that. And I don't even know how much my college would carry over. I would have to go and look all that shit and fuck all that. How would you feel about advocating for someone who is wrong? You'd have to do the best to represent them, no? But remember, when you're representing somebody, it's not about being right or wrong. When it comes to criminal matters, it's about forcing the state to prove their case. And that is a noble thing to force the state to do. You don't want to have situations where you get like O.J. Simpson's, where the state is framing somebody for murder who committed murder. It's just like, it's good to make you should make the state prove their case. That's good. That's a noble thing to do. You should want the state to have to do that. Why would you want to get an undergrad given your current position? Well, you need an undergrad in order to get in order to go to law school, right?